I can't believe I gotta say what I'm about to say, but no, I wasn't condoning sexual assault in my last video that the narcissist forces you to tiptoe. That's not what I was doing. Somebody caught it, but by some of the comments, obviously not. And I'm sorry I have to do this, but I have to right now. I'm not naming names, and I might even just take down the comments, which I don't normally do. Sexual assault is not just boys' hormones going crazy. Okay, you realize you're putting a rape crime on 9 and 10-year-olds, right? You realize that 9 and 10-year-olds you're assigning criminal behavior to. The same way we've been blamed for shit our whole lives is what you're turning around and doing. I am not saying what these boys did was right, okay? But for a crime, there needs to be some sort of intent. The reason we don't charge children with crimes is they don't understand what a crime is. They don't understand why something is right or wrong, or the depths of what constitutes a crime. Now, I'm sure they know snapping a bra strap and grabbing boobs, okay, is wrong. And some of the stuff where she's trying to pull down pants, yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. But the boys aren't who's to blame here. Who's to blame here if this is happening at school? Who's really to blame? Where's the fucking supervision? One of my favorite themes is bagging on teachers. And this is the type of shit. This is the type of shit that destroys our education system. This is the type of shit I'm talking about when I'm talking about these fucking teachers. Not only do they not educate, they don't protect anybody. Every class has a girl who sprouts early. Every class has one. And the first one to sprout is the first one that's going to start getting all the attention because of it. All negative, perceived as negative. Negative from the girls out of jealousy and the whore comments. The boys, it's negative because they're so aggressive. But they don't know why they're being aggressive. They don't know why. Because nobody's supervising these fucking kids. That's how shit like this happens. And it's been happening for 60 years. There ain't a teacher alive that has girls, that has classes with girls coming of age that don't sprout early, that don't know what's going to happen. They choose to ignore it because teachers are fucking lazy. Because teachers just want to get out at 3:15 and fuck off for the day and get their free benefits and their lifetime of pay and everything else. Like I keep saying, fuck teachers. Fuck teachers. My thoughts exactly. I'm blown away by his response. Let me grab and punch your balls. Oops, hormones. Well, boys and girls' hormones are different at younger ages. Okay, both of them are wrong. Both of them are wrong. And it shows a lack of supervision on the playground. As aggressive as young boys can be on the first girl who sprouts, you can't really assign it to the boys. You have to assign it to the supervision because this was all happening at school. Regardless of what setting anyone finds themselves in or whatever age they are, violating the personal boundaries of others or otherwise touching others inappropriately is unacceptable, inappropriate, and in many cases, criminal behavior. Absolutely, criminal behavior if you understand what the law is and actually understand what it is you're doing. That's why we have teachers and people supposed to be supervising these children. The story she described, how the fuck does that happen if the children are being supervised? Again, I'm not excusing what these boys do on the first girl who sprouts. I'm not. Okay? But we have to at least step back and be realistic about young boys and young girls. And that's supposed to be the responsibility of the fucking teacher and the school system to teach these kids how to interact, to make sure they're not being cruel. But that doesn't happen. It's real easy to blame the 9-year-old. We were all 9, and a guy was watching, I was 9, we're all 9. You think there's like some kind of concerted plan, so-and-so sprouted boobs, let's get her and assault her. No. No. The boys don't even know why they're doing it. That's the teacher's responsibility. And when they see that activity, they should notify the parents, and so the parents can make it clear that that shit isn't cool. The same thing that I keep talking about why we don't recover from narcissistic abuse is because we've been blamed for shit since we were children, assigning motive and blame and intent to shit when we were 9, 10, 5, 4 years old. You can't turn around and do it to them. It's unfair. Doesn't mean I excuse the behavior. This is a hallmark of individuals who are held to lower standards of acceptance behaviors and demonstrates poor parenting skills. Exactly. Which is where the teacher is supposed to step in and say, hey, your kid's fucked up. He doesn't understand you don't go grabbing girls' tits and snapping bra straps. That's not what our schools do. These fucking teachers, they show up and then they leave. But you cannot just sit there and say, oh, well, all the boys are just criminal behavior. No, then you're missing the entire point of my channel. He wasn't condoning this behavior. He was making sure it was distinguished from narcissism. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to make sure that she didn't think like these are just more narcissists everywhere in my life. Because it's real easy to think that. No, this is not that it's right, it's wrong. This is what happens with young boys when a girl sprouts. They start doing stupid shit and they don't even understand why. That's the teacher's fault. That is a lack of supervision in the education system. To just fucking broad brush it and just say, oh, it's the 9-year-old's fault. Come on, man. People have been doing that to us to our whole lives. I second your comment. Abuse at the hands of one schoolmate is not just their hormones, which these boys can't control. The malignant narcissists who abused us, often for decades and not for generations, started their abuse in small increments, building up their appetites for more and more crazy making. Why? Because they can not only get away with it, but society endorses it, excuses it, or puts forth only the smallest slaps on the wrists. Awful behavior, whether it's generated by men, women, boys, or girls, it's awful behavior. Full stop. Wrong. You cannot you are assigning children the same type of mental maturity as adults. Wrong. The reason most of you are watching my channel is because this shit started as when you were a child. Being blamed for shit you didn't even understand what you were being fucking blamed for. To just say all these boys, come on. If that's what you think, you're missing the point of my channel. I don't think she felt that way because I heard from her after I posted it, and she seemed to really like the video, the author. I believe she understood what I was saying, but apparently I have to clean this up because it looks like there's just people looking for something to jump on. This is hard work, everybody. It's very hard. And don't make the same mistake the narcissist does as just being able to broad brush a situation. People come to me because I'm analytical. I try to break it all down to the lowest common denominator, to the root cause. And sometimes that root cause is going to be uncomfortable. Sometimes that root cause will even make you angry. I'm not condoning what the boys do or what boys do like when this happens. I'm not. But at least do the work, think it through, and figure out where the fucking blame begins. Okay, to call something criminal behavior being conducted by 9 and 10-year-olds. Come on. How many things were you blamed for in your past as a child that you didn't even understand the concept of? It's wrong. The boys should be punished so they know how severe it is. Okay? I'm not saying the boys shouldn't be punished. I'm not saying they shouldn't be called out. I'm not saying it should be fucking swept under the fucking rug. But don't just start yelling at these boys and trying to label them as some kind of sexual predator. Now, some of them might be. Because they figured out they could get away with that shit and nobody was going to stop them. And at a point, then that becomes a choice for them. Because not every boy will do that. They will figure out, holy shit, that was really fucked up and wrong. And you know when they figure that out? Usually when their brains start catching up and their bodies start catching up to their hormones. And it's like, wow, I really just would rather be nice to this girl and date her. That's the fault of the education system. Okay? Make sure before you're labeling somebody something, especially a child, you are breaking it down to the root cause. That you're doing the work, because it's real easy to just say the boys are just a bunch of sexual predators. And they can control it. Did they make a decision whether or not were they out of control that they couldn't, I gotta grab her boobs? Of course not. Of course not, but we all know children's decision making is fucking for shit. That's why they're not allowed to take care of themselves. That's why they're not allowed to make legal decisions. Because there's decision making, you can't hold them accountable for it because they don't understand concepts yet. Horrible experience what she went through. Horrible experience. Not minimizing that whatsoever. Whatsoever. Fix the problem. The problem was the supervision. The problem's in the education system. But just to say, oh, these boys are it and leave the blame there. No. No. I'm not sure if all of you were doing that, but that's how I'm taking it. So, that's all I got to say on that matter.